Hey guys, in today's art lesson we will be making easy DIY watercolor bookmarks. We will paint a watercolor galaxy, a starry night sky painting, and a watercolor landscape. If you would like to recreate this, I would love for you to share this with me and others on my very own private Facebook group I made recently called Paint With Me. As you paint and learn new projects on a weekly basis, you can share your recreations in this fun group. No matter where you are on your journey, everyone is welcome. This group will be filled with painting tips and tricks and monthly giveaways. I would love for you to paint with me, so join now and I hope to see you there. Okay, so these are all the materials that you will need. A masking tape, I am using an artist tape. A bowl and a paper towel or a rag. I'm using Arches watercolor paper, but you can also use Canson if you have that. I just cut my bookmarks from here. I will mostly be using a number 10 round brush, a rough brush of any kind, and two different thin brushes. This one is optional, but a cotton swab can be handy. Here's my koi watercolor set and a white acrylic paint. You will also need a blow dryer to speed up the process. I have already pre-cut my bookmarks. They are sized 2.75 by 6.75 inches. Next step, you will want to tape your edges to all sides. I am roughly eyeballing it and leaving a 0.5 inch on each side. You can make it however thin or thick you want the sides to be. This first bookmark is going to be this beautiful and very simple galaxy sky. I'm working with a dark blue, dark green, and black. We will also add some acrylic white to this. Let's dive right into the wet on wet technique. So wet your paper with clear water evenly. You should see a slight sheen to the paper. Do not drown your paper with too much water, so just be careful. Start with your blue and simply dab your brush gently in places. Follow up with your green after that as well. I love doing a bit of mixed media when I paint galaxies, so I am using acrylic white here and adding that in just random places. It creates this really cool effect, which I love. Keeping a cotton swab handy can also be a really good tip if you want to roll out some of that excessive color, or you can just use a tissue paper as well. Get some of that white and tap your brush onto your paper to get that starry night effect. Tapping your brush will give you slightly larger dots. I will show you how to get smaller ones as well in a bit. I am now using black and intensifying the color slightly. Slowly and gradually build up on those colors. There is no right or wrong when it comes to painting galaxy skies, so yeah, it can be a super fun project for anyone to do. Keeping a blow dry handy can be a savior when it comes to watercolors, so it can help speed up the process. To get these smaller stars, I like using a tiny rough brush, and this time we will be flicking the brush off instead of tapping it. Use any tiny brush that you have and draw some of these stars using your white. You will notice that as paint dries, they do get lighter in color. So for my final step, I am just going back in and bringing out some of that color in places where I think it will look good. Okay, so now the moment we all have been waiting for, let's take off that tape and see our end results. If you do recreate this, I would love to see it, so join my private Facebook group so we all can see. The link is down in the description. Okay, so now moving on to our second bookmark, I will be using ultramarine blue, purple and pink. Same technique as before, wet your paper first and then begin at the top with a light blue wash. Follow up with your purple and then your pink. You basically want like a gradient effect. Going back in with a second wash and following the exact same steps. I am now blow drying my work to up to maybe 70 to 80% and then adding another layer on top. Once you're happy with the colors you have, we are going to then create little trees at the base. Using a light gray, simply dot your brush gently on either sides. I'm using a really long thin brush for this one and using its tip only. Once your background trees are dry, use your black and add some of those trees in the front using the exact same technique. With the help of my rough brush again, I will flicker off some of that white to give my sky some stars, and we'll also add a tiny moon with a thin brush. And we are done. You now have a beautiful starry night bookmark for all your cozy reads. Super easy, right? The final bookmark will be an easy mountain landscape. We will use yellow and a mixture of dark blue and green. We will start with a very light version of the blue-green you just made. Only wet your paper 1/4 of the way and then use the tip of your brush to lightly dab on it in some places. This will give that very far away misty tree look. Add a light wash of yellow at the very bottom of this and then blow dry it completely before you move on to the next step. We will be building on layers of mountains as we go down the page, so to get the right perspective, we will start light and then we will build on the color intensity as we move to the foreground. Make the tips of your mountains slightly darker than the rest. Remember to only work on your overlapping layer once your layer behind is completely dry, otherwise, you won't get this effect and in fact you'll just create a big blob. As we move to the foreground, I am using mainly black with a bit of that dark blue and tapping my brush at the top of the mountains to create these, faraway tree-like shapes. Using a very thin brush, paint some tiny birds that I would describe are shaped like, the alphabet V with little dots in the center. Hope you enjoyed these fun and dreamy bookmarks and they keep you inspired to read more. Like I mentioned before, if you do recreate this, I would absolutely love to see it, and you can share them with me and others in my own private Facebook group that I just created a few days ago. Get insider tips and tricks by me and others personally and unleash your creative side. Monthly giveaways will also be held in that group, so yeah, come and join. It's going to be so much fun. The link to my Facebook group will be in the description below. Do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe for weekly art videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Bye guys.